All right, so you're prepping for your commercial pilot interview, huh? Well, get ready to really nail those answers because we're about to unpack some of the trickiest questions you might face.
It's more than just acing a test, right? It's about proving you're the whole package.
Yeah, you got to show them you're skilled, you're safety conscious, and you'd be an awesome colleague even at 30,000 feet.
Exactly. They want to see you're prepared for anything, technical issues and challenging personalities, you name it.
And hey, we've got RoleCatcher's AI on our side to help us tailor those answers just right.
It's like having a co-pilot for interview prep. Think about it. RoleCatcher analyzes job descriptions, gives you feedback pretty invaluable, really.
Okay, let's jump right in with a classic opener. Why do you want to be a commercial pilot? Now, that might seem straightforward, but how do you make your answer really pop?
Instead of just saying, I love to fly, everyone says that, right?
Yeah.
Think back to a moment that really solidified your passion.
Give me an example.
Sure, maybe it was the first time you flew solo. That sense of freedom, you know? Or maybe it was understanding the intricate mechanics of an aircraft. Whatever it is, make it personal.
So dig deep into an experience, not just a general statement. What if
Yeah.
someone's always dreamed of working for a specific airline? Should they mention that here?
100%. Connect that childhood dream to what the airline actually stands for.
Like, what do you mean?
Let's say they're known for their global routes, right?
Hmm.
You could talk about how you've always been fascinated by different cultures and how aviation brings those cultures closer. Show them your values align.
That's smart. It shows you've done your homework. All right, next up. Tell us about your experience with different aircraft types. What if someone mostly has experience with smaller planes, but they're interviewing with a major airline?
Honesty and a willingness to learn, that's key.
So how would you phrase that?
Something like, while my primary experience is on Cessna aircraft, I am currently studying the Airbus A320, particularly its fly-by-wire technology. See, specific and shows initiative.
That's a great point. And RoleCatcher can actually pinpoint which aircraft types pop up in similar job descriptions, can't it?
You got it. It helps you tailor your response to what employers are looking for. And speaking of tailoring, let's talk about in-flight emergencies.
Okay, yeah. So the question is, describe a time you had to handle a challenging in-flight situation, even if it was just in a simulation. I bet this is where those nerves of steel come in handy.
Absolutely. This is where you want to lean on your training. Remember the STAR method.
Refresh my memory.
Situation, task, action, result.
Got it.
So, for example, you might say, during a simulated engine failure on approach, my task was to maintain control and troubleshoot. I followed our emergency checklist, and we were able to make a safe landing.
Right. So instead of saying, I stayed calm, you're walking them through your process, showing them you can think clearly under pressure.
Exactly. And even if you haven't faced a real emergency, your training is what prepares you for it.
That makes sense. Now, safety, obviously a huge deal in aviation. It's bound to come up in some form. How should someone answer? What does safety mean to you as a pilot?
Don't just give a generic answer. Don't just say it's important. Give them something concrete.
Like what?
Like, for me, safety means meticulously completing those pre-flight checks every single time, even if it means delaying the flight. You're showing dedication, not just stating the obvious.
That's way more powerful, for sure. And I bet RoleCatcher has some insights into keywords related to safety for these roles.
It does. It can suggest skills or experiences to emphasize based on those keywords, helping you tell a more compelling story.
It's like having a secret weapon. Okay, let's tackle another big one. How would you handle a disruptive passenger? Let's be real, it happens.
Time to show off those conflict resolution skills.
Yeah, how would you approach that?
You could say something like, I would approach the passenger calmly, acknowledge their concerns, and explain the safety regulations we need to adhere to. It's a balance of empathy and authority.
So, understanding but firm.
Precisely. And always aim to de-escalate the situation. The goal is to keep everyone safe and comfortable, even when you're dealing with difficult behavior.
Makes perfect sense. Now, let's talk about delays. Weather delays, mechanical delays, they're a fact of life in aviation. How should someone answer? How do you handle stressful situations like these?
Share a story that shows you're adaptable and resilient.
Can you give me an example?
Let's say you were dealing with unexpected turbulence. You could say, during a recent flight, we encountered some rough air. I calmly communicated the situation to the passengers, emphasizing that their safety was our top priority.
Right. It highlights how you communicate under pressure. So far, we've covered passion, Aircraft types, emergencies, safety, difficult passengers, handling delays.
We're on a roll, and we haven't even touched on staying current with everything. Think about this one. How do you stay updated on the latest aviation technologies and regulations? It's not just about keeping up, you know?
You got to be ahead of the game.
Exactly. So instead of just saying you read industry magazines,
Which, let's be honest, everyone says.
right, give them specifics, give them publications, online resources, maybe even professional development courses.
Like, what would that sound like in an interview?
I subscribe to Aviation Week, and I'm active in a few online forums. I like to stay on top of things, you know, like the implementation of ADS-B technology.
That's way more impressive. It shows you're actively learning and engaged. And this is another area where RoleCatcher can be a huge help, right?
For sure. RoleCatcher's career guides, they've got these curated lists of relevant certifications, things like your instrument rating, your multi-engine rating stuff you can bring up in the interview to show you're serious.
It's like having a cheat sheet for your career. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about decision-making. How should someone answer? Describe a time you had to make a difficult decision in a time-sensitive situation.
This is where you want to avoid hypotheticals. Think of a real experience. It doesn't have to be a major emergency.
So something like diverting due to weather or handling a minor technical issue mid-flight.
Exactly. It's about walking them through your thought process. You could say, during a flight, we had a minor hydraulic issue. I followed our procedures, communicated with air traffic control, and we made the decision to land at the nearest suitable airport just as a precaution.
You're demonstrating that commitment to safety again, that ability to assess and act under pressure.
Right.
Okay, teamwork, we know it's crucial in aviation. How should someone answer, tell me about a time you had to work as part of a team to achieve a common goal?
It's a team sport up there, right? Pick an example that shows how you collaborate, how you communicate within a crew.
Right, so more than just saying, I'm a team player.
Yeah, for sure. They've heard that a million times. Instead, you could say something like, during my multi-crew simulation training, we had a really complex scenario engine failure and a medical emergency at the same time. I worked with my co-pilot, we delegated tasks, communicated clearly, and because of that, we were able to ensure a safe outcome.
That really highlights your ability to lead and work under pressure, which is huge in this field. And I remember from the Commercial Pilot Career Guide that crew resource management's a really important part of all that.
CRM, yeah. If you can work that into your answer, it shows you understand the concept, it shows you've had training.
It adds another layer of, I don't know, aviation smarts. All right, time management. Essential for pilots, obviously. How should someone answer, how do you prioritize tasks and manage your time effectively, especially when things get a little crazy?
Pilots are basically masters of multitasking, right? Think about strategies you use, and don't be afraid to use examples from everyday life.
So even if it's not directly related to flying, it's still relevant.
Absolutely. You could say, I'm a big believer in pre-flight checklists in the air and in life. I break down complex tasks into smaller steps, keeps me organized, keeps me focused, even under pressure.
Those are great examples of transferable skills. And I'm guessing RoleCatcher probably has some insights into how different airlines value time management.
You bet. It analyzes all those job descriptions, picks up on keywords, phrases, helps you tailor your answers even more.
It's like having a personal career coach in your pocket.
Wow.
We've covered a ton of ground today, from engine failures to, well, passenger failures, right?
It's all about showing them you've got what it takes, you know? Judgment, adaptability, that unwavering focus on safety. Those are the marks of a great commercial pilot.
And remember, every interview is a little different. That's where RoleCatcher's AI can really give you an edge. It helps you personalize those answers, target specific airlines, specific roles, like having a custom study guide for your dream job.
100%. Use it to practice, polish those answers, and walk into that interview feeling like $1,000,000.
So to all you aspiring pilots out there, good luck on your journey to the flight deck. With the right prep, the right mindset, you'll be acing those interviews and reaching for the sky in no time.
Blue skies, everybody.